All right, so I have a request from Lewis to show how I would create a proposal for a RFQ, request for quote, on a medical facility that has some very specific needs. So I'm not going to read every detail in this just for time's sakes, but it looks like they're doing cleaning 5 days a week. And then they have something in here for carpet maintenance, where they're supposed to do a shampoo of the carpet as required, and then deep steam clean. So I'm assuming hot water extraction. And it says as required. Let me just give you a little hint here, folks. So when you have an RFQ where they say do something as required, never do as required or as needed. You're going to get taken advantage of at some point in time. So always put a very specific frequency on there. Say up to twice a year or once a year. And if the prospect just says as required, then what you want to do is say, hey, listen, this can get into a position to where it's going to cost us a lot of money as required. I've had situations in the past where we did spot cleaning as required, and they took advantage of it and basically had their carpet cleaned, low moisture encapsulation, I don't know, every quarter or so, because they would just point out all these little tiny stains, and it was just easier at that point to just go ahead and scrub the entire carpet. So we learned that a long time ago, that when you have an as required scenario, always try to corner your prospect into specificity and put that on them and say, hey, this is for you, because what we think is required may be different from what you think is required. So why don't we just give you exactly what we think is going to be sufficient, maybe twice a year or once a year or something like that. All right, so with that being said, let me go ahead and dive in here and show you how I would put this together, including some of the numbers. So this is Clean Proposals software here. We should call it Clean Profitable. We own the domain. We might change, because this does more than a lot more than proposals. So we'll create the proposal. I'm just going to select from an existing prospect, and we're going to add it to this address, and we'll call this medical cleaning. And you can see here that you can use your own templates that you want to create. You can go back and use those. But we'll go down here and we'll select medical dental and the frequency of 5 days a week. 2, 3, 4, 5. Click Add Proposal. And the software is broken down into 4 simple steps. If you guys have seen this, some of my videos before, this is pretty straightforward. But the first area or first step is going to be your general areas and cleaning tasks. So I'm just going to, without looking at every single thing on here, I'm just going to pick some of the areas that are in here. Hard floors, conference rooms, I got a few of those. Hard floors. There's an elevator with hard floors. Looks okay. So enclosed offices, carpet, entrance area has carpet and hard floors. Hallways are carpet. Then there's a janitor's closet, lab and medical areas, hard floors. Go back up here, hard floors, nurse's station, carpet, open office space. And there's some very unique names to some of these areas. And if you wanted to rename them, anywhere you see an edit pencil on here, you can just click it and rename it and customize it. So then patient exam rooms, reception, those have hard floors, forgot that. Reception is carpet, restrooms, hard floors, a few of those. And stairwells and waiting area, stairwells have carpet, waiting area have carpet, hard floor combo. All right, so in each one of these area cards here on step 1, you can add photos and notes if you would like right here, and you can attach them to your proposal or just keep it for internal review. And then if you open up each one of these areas, these area cards, you have cleaning tasks. And so the concept is really simple. If you want something in your proposal, just make sure there's a check mark next to it. If you don't, uncheck it. So we're going to say air vents, and you can say instead of monthly, you can go quarterly. So you can go out and build the frequency here for any of these things. And again, if you see something that you don't like, the way we worded it, you can click the edit pencil and you can edit the text and make it your own, and you can change the frequency on all these. Again, try not to do as requested or as needed, because that will eventually get you into some trouble. So I'm not going to build all this out, but let me just show you what we've done here. Really simple. We'll go to step 4, and we've already created your scope of services with just a few clicks. So you can see a detailed layout of the scope of services here. But what I really want to get into is the calculations for the projects like carpet cleaning, window cleaning, etc., and show you a few ways that you can do that. Let me take a look at this quote here. All right. Looks like they may have to have a day porter in there too, because they have a AM shift, PM shift, maybe a day porter, but we can always add that as well. So what I want to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the calculator, and I'm going to go to the automated price estimator, and I'm only going to use this to get the production rate. Let's see here. Does it give me square footage? No. So you never want to bid by the square foot, by the way. You want to bid with labor and materials, and I can show you in another video why bidding by the square foot is wrong, or you can go and check out one of the videos that we have, why bidding by the square foot is wrong. This looks like it's a big facility. I don't know the exact square footage, but I'm just going to say 25,000 square feet. And for medical, I always say difficult because they typically have the highest cleaning needs and the smallest budgets, but their budget is not our concern. We're not solving budgets, we're solving cleaning issues. What we're going to do is sell the value of our services and make them come up to our level of pricing. All right, so I'm just going to say yes, and $21 an hour. It doesn't matter here because I'm going to skip all this. I can enter payroll, taxes, supplies. I can dial up the profit margin. And yes, the software will give you a price that's not going to be too high or too low, but there's not enough specificity in this automated price calculator. This is just to really help you get an idea of where you should bid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go for this production rate here. I'm going to take this 10 hours and 45 minutes, and I'm actually going to round it up to say 11 hours. And I'm going to go back here to the do-it-yourself calculator, and that's where I'll enter those numbers. But before I do that, let me go to the special projects and add these projects here. So carpet cleaning as needed. I'm going to just say, so it's got hot water extraction. We'll say annually for the whole building, or you can choose specific areas. Actually, I chose one time there. Let's go to the recurring projects. So we'll do hot water extraction, and then we'll say for the whole building once a year. All right, and then I'm going to add another recurring project, and we're going to do low moisture encapsulation in cap, and we're going to say for the whole building, let's say 3 times a year. Okay, and so what the software is going to do is give you step-by-step procedures on how those projects will be done. So technician will perform a pre-work inspection to gather photo documentation, identify potential challenges, and address expected outcomes. Pre-designated furniture and other items will be moved prior to starting work, et cetera, et cetera. Again, everything works the same in the software. So if you want it in your proposal, make sure there's a check. If you don't, uncheck it. And anywhere you see an edit pencil, you can customize and make your own. And as on step 1, as well as here, you can add your own custom task if we forgot something for you, okay? And so as you build these projects out, you're gonna have the opportunity to price them out separately. So let's do some window cleaning, interior, exterior for the whole building. And we're gonna do that twice a year. Add project, and now that project's built out for you, and you can add photos and notes as well, and then you can also customize the name of those projects. So now let's go back to the calculator here. So the winning cost structure that I've learned over the years requires a minimum of 3 different types of labor. You're gonna have your frontline custodians, which you'll see here, you're gonna have trainers, and you're gonna have inspectors, quality control inspectors. So we're at 11 hours here. and let's say 2 people at 5.5 hours a piece. And we never pay minimum because we don't expect minimum. And if you learn how to negotiate properly, then you can always bid and get your built-in pay raises. So let's say you're hiring people at 18 bucks an hour, but eventually you get good people and you want to pay them better, right? So always bid like the company you want to be. Never bid like the company you are, only bid like the company you want to be. You want well-paid people that have plenty of time and that also have the ability to see financial rewards for the hard work and loyalty. So I'm going to bid with built-in pay raises, but there's ways to negotiate this with your prospect that I'm going to make another video for at some point in time. And we're going to say 5.5 hours each, right? So that covers the 11 hours. And this is 5 days per week. Okay. So the software is going to break down your labor cost per clean. So every time these folks go to work, you know it's going to cost you $231, your annual labor cost and your monthly labor cost. Oh, I forgot to add the payroll taxes and overhead. Let me go ahead and do that here. So even if, unless you're a subcontractor or you're subcontracting, you always want to put your payroll taxes in. Definitely want to have some insurance in there, and you have your overhead, whatever that may be, right? You always want to have that added into your proposal, because I guarantee you the bigger experienced people, they're accounting for all their costs and then they're charging above that. So, all right, so that readjusted the numbers. Here's your annual cost per clean. Here's your cost per clean, your annual labor cost, and your monthly labor cost, okay? So now what you wanna do is you wanna click here, add new labor cost, and we wanna go for our trainers. And the way we trained at our company, say $25 an hour, is that we would account for a minimum of 2 turnovers a year. And that is a direct labor cost to that building. That's something that a lot of us don't think of, right? A direct labor cost to that building is going to be turnover. And without accounting for that, that's coming directly out of your pocket. That's coming out of your profit margins. So we want to add that in here. And the way we trained at our company was 3 days of training. The first day they watch us. The second day we watch them. The third day we cut them loose, and then we go and check on them halfway during the shift, make sure that they're still hitting their goal times, that they got the janitor's closet all nice and neat and set up properly for the next day, that they've turned off all the lights, they know how to set the alarm properly, lock the doors, etc. Right? So in this particular case, this would give us, let's see, 11 plus half of that. So let's say 16 hours twice a year. Now, sometimes, and you'll see this in my other videos, sometimes you'll get people that stick for years, and other times it seems like you can't keep people for 2 weeks, but you're gonna have to start to account for some of that cost. And for larger buildings that have more employees, we'll add more training because you just have the ability to turn over more. All right, so I'm gonna add, lastly, at a bare minimum, I'm gonna add quality control inspectors. And in this case, we always do, no matter what size of the building, a bare minimum of 1 inspection per month. And of course, depending on your frequency, the size of the building, how many employees, and your client's expectations of you, you may want to do more. But bare minimum is what you're going to do there, once per month. Okay? So now you have a successful structure on what needs to go in every single bid. You're going to have your labor payroll taxes, your insurance, and your overhead. Then you're going to have your inspectors, trainers, and custodians. And now you are set up for a basic structure of success. If you can't get inspectors, because you inspect what you expect, if you can't account for the training costs, and if you can't pay your staff well with adequate time, do you actually want the contract? No, you don't want the contract, right? So bid like the company you want to be. You want to be able to do all these things. And that way you're not out cleaning, you're not out training, you're not out doing inspections, because you can afford to pay people to do that, right? You want to drop the mop and go from broom to boardroom. All right, so down here, we've got janitorial labor cost, 3. So that's telling you you've got your 3 labor types up there. And here's your subtotal. This is what it's going to cost you folks to do business. In this case, $6,727.60 down to the penny. Then you're going to have additional expenses. So of course you're going to have cleaning supplies. Some of you may be paying for consumables. I don't pay for consumables. I developed a sales pitch 20 years ago to get out of that because I was too broke to buy them, to be honest with you. If they were counting on me to buy their toilet paper when I first started out, they were going to have to wipe with their hands or get a bidet or something. I just didn't have the money. So I learned how to sell deep cleans. I learned how to get paid up front. I learned how to make a lot more money, and I learned how not to buy consumables. All right. It was just out of, necessity is the mother of invention. So let's say you think it's going to be $100 a month in cleaning supplies. Then you're going to have, I always have a technology fee. And this is, at a minimum, I charge $25 for a technology fee. And the tech fee is going to account for your software like this, unlimited usage, $49 a month. But, accounting software, invoicing software, quality control inspection software, work order software, whatever that you're using, you're going to have some technology fees associated with this. And if you explain this properly to your customer, they're going to appreciate seeing this technology fee. Okay. And they're going to appreciate inspectors. They're going to appreciate professionally trained people. They're going to appreciate well-paid people that have enough cleaning time, right? You just got to learn how to sell it instead of trying to be competitive with somebody that's dirt cheap or the rest of the industry who's competing to do it for $1 less. You just have to learn how to sell your services for $1,000 more. All right. So then you may have things like drive time and fuel. You want to account for that. So let's say you think that's going to be $125 a month. Sometimes you have cell phone reimbursement, whatever it is. You can just keep going on here. And now you'll see that you have additional expenses, and it says 3. That's these 3 expenses here, and that's $250. So I'm just going to hide this now so we just get everything a little cleaner. And what you'll see now is $6,977.60. That's what it's going to cost you to do business. And I've been in negotiations, to be honest with you, negotiations many times where my cost of cleaning has been more than their existing budget. Because we don't know how to bid in this industry. We work really hard and we don't make any effing money. It's horrible. But I've been in scenarios where I've presented this to prospects and this is actually more than what their existing budget is. But anyways, so now you have a better understanding of what your true cost to clean is. And this is where you have to start to make money on top of this. So let's say you want to make a 35% profit margin. Now the software is going to tell you that if you wanted to make a 35% profit margin, that it's going to be $3,757.17 to you. This is your gross operating margin. This doesn't all go into your pocket, right? Because you have to buy fleet vehicles. You're going to have to, do some advertising, things like that. So this doesn't go directly in your pocket. So you've got to covet this number. You've got to guard it with everything you have. After all, you have to make money. You're not there to clean. You're there to make money. Cleaning is the byproduct of your goals. Your goals is to create your wealth and your legacy and your dreams, right? So fight for this and learn how to sell it. Now, and this will be your charge to your customer. And let me just show you that it kind of just automatically populates in here for you. So here's the monthly charge already laid out for you. But let me go back to the calculator because there's a lot more power in here. Now, if you know the cleanable square footage, I can't remember what we said for this. I think it was 25,000 square feet. The software is going to tell you what you're charging per square foot. So at your fingertips now, folks, you have all of your labor that you need, your additional expenses, your profit margin, your monthly revenue, your charge to your client, and your price per square foot, all in this calculator. And for those of you who live in areas that have to charge sales tax to your service, you can just place it here, add your sales tax, and there you go. But I'm not done of the power of clean proposals. That's why we should probably call it clean profitable, because it does so much more than proposals. So let's say you're looking at this and you're going, $3,750, this client is just kind of picky. I think I should make $4,200 on this. So the software reverse engineers your profit margin and now tells you that you're making 37.58%. It adjusts your cost to your client, and then it also adjusts your price per square foot. But I am still not done, friends. So let's say you're working with a prospect and they just said, hey, I've got a tight budget of $10,000. I love you. I want to do business with you. But, board of directors, whatever, they just said, I can only do 10 grand. So you can type that in here. And again, the software will reverse engineer. So for those folks who run into people that have budget restraints, you can actually cost this out and figure out if this is going to be worth it to you and whether or not you're going to be making money. One of the lovely features here at Clean Proposals. So then it tells you what your revenue is, or excuse me, your percentage, your revenue, charged to a client, and reverse engineers your price per square foot. And then you can also, because I'm still not done, you can also go over here and say, I wonder what it looks like if I was charging 30 cents a square foot. So now the software will reverse engineer it, tell you what your profit margin is, way too low. And so you can go over here and say 40 cents a square foot. What would that be? Okay, now we're looking a little better, or, what is going to be at 37 cents a square foot. Oops. All right, so now you have all this power here. So you can do it by square footage, you could do it by your profit margin, you can do it by revenue, you can do it by solid charge to your customer. And then down here, you can then go out and cost all of your projects. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You can skip all of this stuff. If you already know what you want to charge, you can just come down here and say you're going to charge, $1,500. Okay. So in that case, just to save some time, because I'm already going way long into this video, we're just going to go and put any number in here just to do that quickly. All right. So now all of this is going to wind up in your proposal. Okay, let's click on compensation. And now you have a breakdown of all the pricing that you're going to be doing here. So actually, let me go back and just explain something here on what you're seeing. So you see that this is 3 times a year, right? And then you've got a price per service. You've got a monthly price per service and, you got a monthly price and then a price per service. So a lot of people get confused on this. So let me go back to the projects, scroll down here. And even though you're doing this 2 times a year, you'll see the software is asking for a monthly charge for this project. And the reason why we have it broken down like this is because a lot of times your request for a proposal, they'll just say, hey, I want you to do windows, I want you to strip and wax the carpet, or strip and wax the floors, I want you to do carpet cleaning. Just, I'm going to do it certain times of years, but just give me one monthly price. What is it going to cost me to write you a check every month? I don't want it to think about it. What is it going to cost me? So let's just say, okay, twice a year, just to make this easy here. Let's just say it's going to be $1,200, or excuse me, you're going to charge $600 twice a year, right? So that's $1,200. So what you would do is just put in $100 here. And now the software, because that's going to be the monthly charge. So let's go ahead and go back. The software is going to say your monthly price is $100. So they're just going to cut you a check to include in there. And your price per service is going to be $600. So you're going to do it twice. Each time you charge them, it's going to be $600. A total of $1,200, and you just divide it up by the monthly charge. But there's other powers in here too, so you can go into compensation. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys and making this too hard, but you can also go in here and let's say that you're trying to sell additional services, but you think your customer's kind of gonna go in here and nitpick these itemized things here and go, well, you could take this out, you could take this out. I don't want this either. But they would go for the monthly price if they just saw the value in the services and they're like, yeah, I can cut that check. You can click this button here which says show prices and tables, and it will get rid of, just uncheck it. It will get rid of the pricing and tables. And then you can just go down here, turn off this, and then give them a grand total so that they'll say, oh, if they'll see that, if I'm going to clean the carpet once a year, and I'm going to do the low moisture and caption 3 times a year, and I'm going to do the windows twice a year, and janitorial services 5 days a week. To have all of that done is going to cost me $13,350 a month. That is also another way that you can present the proposal. Okay, and then You have a legal agreement that's already broken down for you. Everything is completely customizable. The legal agreement was written by attorneys and bindable in all 50 states. You can add whatever you want. And down here, you have your scope of services written out, and then followed by the projects down at the bottom. Those are specified in step-by-step procedures too. You have e-signature, a bunch of other things that you can do in here. You've got proposal design. So you've got, 87 different full color templates that you can change the image on, add your logo, your tagline, etc. You can submit it electronically, and it's got proposal tracking and a bunch of other things. I know it's a long video, but this can kind of show you all the power that you have in clean proposals and different ways that you can really cost out your medical facility and get accurate numbers and sell above your true cost of clean. Thanks a lot, folks. If you like it, please like it, comment. I'll respond to the comments and I'll create more content for you. We're going to try to build a family of education here so that you guys really understand the anatomy of winning proposals and that you can really start to make some money in this industry. Like I said, we work way too hard not to make money. So like, subscribe, I'll keep adding content, ask your questions, and I will create videos for you. Until next time, my friends, clean profitable, because that is the only way to clean.